What is the perfect compact camera? Well, for me, for this guy, for this photographer, this is the Ricoh GR IIIx, and it's absolutely, without a doubt, the wrong time to buy this camera right now. So I'm not peddling, I'm not telling you you should buy it, but I'm going to share today. Today's a sharing episode. Professional photographers are a weird bunch. If you work a lot and you travel a lot like I do, then you travel with a ton of gear, which means you have a weird relationship with your cameras, your bags, your gear. It's associated with the stress of carry-on limits, protection, transferring gear back and forth from location to location, all the stress that goes along with airports. The burden weighs on you, and heavy is that burden. And that can carry over into your daily life. You're moving around with cameras or your everyday camera, associating lots of expensive gear or any gear itself with anxiety. So when I'm not shooting a personal project or a paid commercial job, I've lost my way a little bit as a photographer. I've stopped carrying a camera with me everywhere. Don't tell anyone that, but yeah, I have a bit. I still sometimes, but not all the time. But this little camera has changed that. Last week, after finishing up a commercial shoot in Tokyo, actually it was just a couple days ago, I had time to wander and time to ponder and time to go for a walk, and Tokyo is amazing for that. Always something odd, something cute, something worth capturing, something worth having a camera on you. So as I looked around and wanted to capture Japan, I was out with no gear, no stress, but that meant no camera. And that was sad. That was a sad moment for me. Where had that student gone, that young photographer that took his camera with him everywhere? I've tried to fill this gap of that point and shoot, that everyday carry camera on me all the time over the past few years. And let's be honest, the desire that has to come from your heart, your desire to shoot doesn't come from buying gear. It most certainly doesn't. I never want to say that. But tools do help. They don't create the desire, but they do assist me. And I thought to myself, when was the last time I had this type of camera that I was happy with? And so I started to go back through my little memory, my little camera Rolodex. And I'll interject here by dispelling the idea that a camera phone is suitable for this use case. For many, sure, it absolutely is. Quality, convenience, how quick it is to upload and share, I get it. But for me, I don't really enjoy photography with a smartphone, not nearly as much as I do with a dedicated camera. In fact, recently I downgraded my iPhone to a used iPhone 13 mini. In fact, I use this now just for not for actually capturing pictures, but more to prove things exist. Oh, tell my wife this exists. That's what I use this camera phone for. And I use it strictly for productivity, ride sharing, messaging, and just the basics. I've made it more intentional and less about entertainment. And this has worked wonders for me. It's made me more present, more productive, and just a better version of myself. So no, a camera phone isn't an option for me. Okay, now back to the list. Here are some options I've considered, and many that I've dabbled in, and many that you're probably considering as well if you're watching this video. So many moons ago, I had the original Fuji X100. Nice, yes. Revolutionary, yeah, sure. But it was tinny to me, if that makes sense. It was electronic-y to me. I didn't like the buttons. Most importantly, it was just too big for the use case that I wanted, not pocketable, and too similar to my M, which I use for dedicated projects and dedicated shoots, not an everyday camera. Then later on, I bought into the hype of the latest Fuji X100 I don't know why. I should know not to buy into this hype, but I got excited. I was looking for what's next. I've been too engulfed in YouTube before I removed social media from my iPhone. But yeah, same issues. I wanted to love that camera. I was excited about it. I dig the film simulations. The app was pretty good, but the buttons don't vibe with me. The experience doesn't vibe with me, so I sold it. And again, same thing. Too close to the M, and it's not going to replace that. Not for me. So Hype 1, Justin 0. I tried and wanted so much to love the Leica D-Lux 8. I tried so hard. We worked through therapy, and it's not its fault. It's just zoomy, and I'm not zoomy at all. It's not lying. It tells you it's zoomy, but I thought I could be a zoomy person, but I can't. It's pocketable, yes, and I thought it would be a good combo camera, like a scouting camera, something to take on scouting days around the world with me, to give myself, my clients, some references for shot ideas when we're working quick in different cities, checking out different locations. I thought, what a great thing to have. Rather than take all of my gear with me for scouting, it's just no time for that and more stress that comes with that, that I thought this would be the perfect camera. And it actually did work pretty well for that, but I wanted more. I wanted it to be something it wasn't, and that's my fault, Leica. And it's just not fun. That's harsh. I'm sorry, Leica. It's just not my version of fun. And Sony and Lumix and Canon all make some powerful little zoomy cameras, but again, same issue for me personally. They just don't work for me. I like a fixed lens. That's ingrained in me and who I am as a photographer. So then what, dude? You can't be satisfied? That's your stuff. What are you venting here for? Is this a therapy session? No, not true. I thought back to a simpler time, a simpler camera. When was the last time I was happy with this type of camera? And the first camera that came to mind was the original Ricoh GR. Sure, the focus sucked, the battery worse, but I didn't care. It was fun. That stuff didn't hinder me. That didn't stop me from having fun. And I parted ways with that camera, and I can't even remember why. I remember loving it. I don't know why we separated. And then several years later, I had a longer stint with the GR3. Same thing with the battery, not great. Files, really nice. Focus, passable now. Form factor, though, perfection. It was perfect. I took that camera with me all the time. It was my adventure camera on bike rides, my camera on my walks with my dogs, my camera on vacation that fits in my pocket. And again, I can't quite remember what happened and why I parted ways with her, why I sold her. It was probably the YouTube world of what's next, and that made me sell her, toss her away. And now I like to think she's off on fun adventures in some exotic lands with a fun photographer. But honestly, she's probably on a shelf somewhere replaced by something newer with more bells and whistles, and I feel terrible about that. So after a good pondering session after my Tokyo walk, I went back to my hotel, and I was flying back to Hanoi the next day, and I had a few hours in the morning. And so I thought, let me go online. Let me see what's Ricoh been up to. Let me stalk her. Let me go check her social media. And so I went to rumor sites. I went to their website to see what's out there. Is anything new? No, Ricoh's not exactly pumping out cameras nonstop, but nor should they. And it was mainly the same old for the most part. But I saw a camera that caught my eye, the GR IIIx. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. What's the X mean? And it was a 40mm lens rather than a 28mm lens. Much more suited for my style, absolutely. I shoot mostly with a 35mm for this type of stuff. And so it was clear what I needed to do. And so the next morning before my flight, I hit up all the mega stores in Japan. And they have awesome camera stores. One after another, they X'd me. For anyone that's been to Japan, you know what I'm talking about. When Japanese people deal with foreigners or language barriers, they do this awesome like arm X thing. And I just love it. I absolutely adore it. Like, you can't shoot here, X. Rather than tell you, just no. Do you have this camera in stock? X. Not allowed in here? X. They're just fantastic. I always want to X them back, or at the very least incorporate this into my life. I just haven't been able to figure it out and not look like a complete psycho. It'd be awesome to do that on shoot, like a client asking me like, hey, can you try this angle? X. Can you shoot this for free? X. Can you? X. Yeah, everywhere I went, I got X'd. I got X'd to death. Apparently, I'm not unique in my affinity for this camera. Probably a little bit out of touch. And so I was bummed. I was looking, okay, maybe I can find something used in Vietnam. And then I had one last desperate hope, a used camera store near my hotel in Shinjuku. And so I was up against the clock. I needed to get back to my hotel, pack all that gear that gives me all that anxiety. And so I went up 4 flights of steps and I went into the place and I was excited. I went with Google Translate on my Apple Watch. And I was like, you guys have the Ricoh GR IIIx? And she X'd me. I was heartbroken. It's silly. It's just a camera. I was heartbroken. I was about to leave, and then I said, wait, do you have the Ricoh GR IIIx used? And I was sure she was going to X me again, crush my hopes of being reunited with my old friend. But she didn't. She pointed to a little glass case where a beam of light illuminated. No, that didn't happen. But there was two. There was 2 GR IIIx urban editions, and I wanted to buy both and rescue the second one, but I have hopes someone else would do that. And so I bought it. I picked her up, I held her, I wept. Okay, none of that really happened, but it felt great. It felt like reuniting with an old friend. She was perfect perfect form factor, perfect in my hand, perfect in my pocket, perfect in my little man bag, perfect on my desk. She is fun, and I'm excited to have fun again with my photography. And that's it. That's my little story. Maybe you were expecting specs and all these other things. No, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a specky person. I'm not a zoomy person. I'm a fun person. And you can follow my funness if you want with this camera, because I'll be shooting a lot with it in the coming month in Hanoi before I head back to the US for a little bit. I've got some free time, so I'm going to shoot some street photography, and the weather's just getting good. You can follow all that on Instagram at Ask Mott. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know your fun camera. What's that camera that you love, that you adore? Maybe you parted ways with it, maybe not. Maybe you still have it. Put that in the comments section. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're interested in my presets, workshops, or online coaching, open to all ages, all levels, and photographers interested in all genres, please visit askmott.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day, and don't forget to have some fun.